My husband took the test for the job, and I basically was against it when he took the test. So I more or less took the test as a challenge. I don't know if I should be saying that. You better disconnect that thing. You don't think the women are doing as good a job as the men? Why?
The women are skating through this job, and the guys are carrying them right through it.
Oh, that's baloney. You know, I think the girls are doing just as good a job as the men.
10-1, please.
Even the office jobs. We're going out to an aided case at Creston Avenue. A 91-year-old lady had fell out of bed and called up the precinct and wanted somebody to come over and help her out.
Right now? Want us to lock up the window for you?
What?
Want us to lock up the window for you?
Window
Can we go out the door? Can you...
Close down the window just to see.
Yeah. You're going to be on TV, Mom.
Yeah. What's
See?
the matter? Don't
Are you
make
all right
cheap
now?
shit up.
Are you sure you're all right? Can you stay here by
I'm
yourself?
all right. I'm all right. I tell you what.
You don't think the women are doing as good a job on patrol either?
No, I don't think they're doing anything on patrol.
You don't think any of the women are doing anything on patrol?
At about 29, I think we have 5 that are any good.
Well, you're not talking about, what about all the men that you're training? You're in the field training. You're saying, you said to yourself that the men aren't, especially new people coming up, they're not able to handle themselves. They're not able to handle the job. Her partner has froze up on her and left her there, and she went and did the job. Now, she didn't go back and tell everybody, but yet she'll come up to the locker and talk to the girls. We'll talk amongst ourselves. I think the girls are doing just as good a job. It shows on paper that the girls are doing just as good a job as the men do. I don't think the men are carrying them at all. I think they're handling it themselves. I really do.
She's an excellent driver, and most of the girls are very poor drivers. They can do a lot of other things, but most of them are poor. Some of them are too short to be behind the wheel of the radio car.
Because everything's got to be done according to the law, and these people are just like, if they get burglarized, we make out a complaint report, a 61, and we take all the information, but then it's closed, and nobody investigates it, you know, unless they have no way of, they don't have the personnel, so they can't send anybody out, an investigator out on each edition of burglary that happens. And like there was 500 last month, so I mean, so really nothing really gets done. Nothing gets accomplished. And like this man now, we can't let him into the apartment because legally we can't break his door down, even though he lives there. Because he lives there with somebody else, and it just seems like a lot of times you come away from these jobs and you don't get any sense of satisfaction.
Many jobs on the fire escape, you never see a girl going on a fire escape. You very seldom see a girl going through windows. Because they just stand back and let the men do it. If it's just the one girl and one guy, they seem to do their job. But if there are men around, the girls will lay back and let the guys do it.
Why do you think they do that?
I think it's because the men have a tendency to, when they come on a job, to right away take the, position of that they're going to handle it, and they more or less push the women more or less, not push the women, but they more or less take over, in other words, they more or less dominate, and then they just go and they do it. They more or less push the women aside, I think.
You think it's chivalry?
I think that has a lot to do with it. I think their ego is being
And up 184. This is a recorded alarm. It could be nothing. It could be an accidental trip. It could be somebody holding up the store.
Lose something. What is it that you lose? It's really, you become hard and you just,
I see a big change, a very big change from the beginning to now.
Even my voice has changed. Like my voice now is, I'm more authoritative. Before I was squeaky. When I would talk to people, I would sound like I was yelling at my kids, right? You even see the same thing. And now I find myself, I put a lot of authority in my voice, and it, I make sure that I get my point across when I'm talking to somebody. They know I mean it. Well, I was working with this police officer when I first came up, and we went in on a violent dispute. The fellow was beating up his girlfriend terrible, and he threatened to kill her. He was threatening to kill her. And he said he wasn't going to leave the apartment. It was her apartment. And he said, I'm not leaving the apartment. So I said, well, you're going one way or another. And I mean, I was standing between him and his girlfriend. He was trying to get out of, kill his girlfriend. And my partner was there. And, I can't really mention any names. And he just stood there, and he went out into the hall. And because I was screaming at the fella, when I was waiting for him to do something to me, I said, you're leaving the apartment one way or another. I was waiting for him to hit me. I was standing there. I said, you're not getting. And my partner left me in the room and went outside. And the next thing, he had called a 1013, which means assistant police officer. And the next thing I knew, which is something that I felt that the two of us together would have been able to handle, because there was only one man and a female. And yet he's calling for assistance, and instead of staying there and helping me, where we had 4 other radio cars respond in order to get this one fella out, which I felt that we could do alone. So it's different people. It's the people you work with, and it's the situation that you get into, the job you're on. If you feel that you can handle it, and I felt that we could handle it, and he felt he couldn't. He was uneasy because I was a female.